Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Friday edition. I had to double check in my head real quick. The Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set a passion ablaze. Of course, I'm checking messages as soon as we go live on the air. And you guys, let me tell you something. First of all, welcome everybody to the program. We got a good show for y'all today. I got a couple of updated stories that we've talked about in recent weeks that have some new and updated details to them. I'd like to bring you these details. Plus, I have a little bit of commentary coming up towards the end of the show about how, much like your child, if your pet is out here in the world wilding the fuck out, chances are you are a shit parent, right? And Joe and Jill Biden have now had to send two of their dogs away because they dogs keep biting people. Well, I'm sorry, they don't bite people, they biting the police, and we don't think police are actual people. So on one hand, we don't have a problem with the Biden canine's behavior. But on the other hand, it's quite telling about the character of their owners. And me being a dog person, I definitely have some thoughts and some thoughts and some thoughts about that shit. But as I'm going on the air, first of all, shout out to Donnie. Thank you so much, Donnie, for your Cash App support. We appreciate it. Oh shit! I just had a message up, and what I do with it from a couple of folks, guys. Listen, we had a couple people reach out and apologize for having to not being able to re-up their patronage. Y'all, it's okay. I get it. Like, you still come through and support. Even people who are no longer our patrons, I still see them in the comments and in the chats and whatnot. So I mean it when I say it. The free support is definitely appreciated. Like, of course, material support. The boy got his own money. I'm telling you, the boy got his own money. Like, everybody need money, right? But I would appreciate the viewership more than the money. So don't feel bad, anybody. And wait, while I'm telling y'all not to feel bad for falling off as patrons, let me shout out to Ruth K. Ruth is a new patron out here. Thank you so much to Ruth K. And to our other patrons, new, old, past, and present. The fact that you took any time out of your schedule and took any coins out of your purse to support this platform, that means a lot to me, and I mean that truly and sincerely. So please don't ever feel guilt, or don't think that I'm a feel some kind of way. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And if I was, I would say so. If I did feel some kind of way, I'd say something, but I don't. No. I understand, you guys. It's tough times out here. Capitalism beating a lot of people's ass out here. Did yours truly included? Capitalism stomping us out here. So I don't feel no kind of way about it. So it's all well and good. Thank you guys so much for making the time to be here. Please hit the like and subscribe, etc., etc. Let me pull up the chat real quick so I can welcome my folks here personally. I hope you guys are enjoying your Good Friday. Samsung, what, nigga? Anyway, I'm sorry. Did I just call my phone a nigga? Yes. It's like, what is this? What is this nigga talking about? This fucking phone. I don't like the phone. I'm not too much of a fan of the phone. Even though I will say I have been enjoying some good phone conversations as of late. And there I go. I pull up my live stream and there's an ad playing on it. How we feel about that, Will? We pro ads? I don't know. They don't never run no ads and no shit that I use on here. Anyway, that's another story. Hold on. Who just ran us some bucks? That looks like a 50 fin. That's a 5. So I know who that is. It's Infinite. Infinite always got 5 on it. I'll be with you in a second, Infinite. Thank you so much for coming through. Big up to my son Tyler in the building. Shout out to Holly. Big up 40J Blaze. Shout out to Wendy. Shout out Mr. Y. Is that what I say? We'll take it. Solidarity. Yeah, we'll take all the solidarity. Thank you so much. Chichi Macha, bienvenidos. Welcome. Thank you to Infinite Content. As I said, Teresa, welcome, Steve. Good to see you in here. As well, Lady Alex, thank you so much for making some time. What's up, CB? Thank you for coming through. Like I said, Donnie, thanks for tossing in something on it. What's up, Jasmine? Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Like I said, I've got some who's that? Corey? What's up, Corey? I got some updates on some stories here, everybody. Did I have something else to tell you? Oh, a couple things. So, if you are in the state of Virginia, I need you to get your asses to the fucking polls. I need y'all to get to the polls. I do not live in Virginia. I live in Maryland, but I live in the Washington, D.C. media market. And when I tell y'all the number of ads that are being run for state delegate, state senator, I'm talking about statewide seats. And I'm seeing what I can only imagine must be high dollar media buys because the DC media market is not cheap out here. I said, who in the fuck? Who in the fuck is throwing all this money behind some of these state delegate and state senate seats? Well, it's very important, everybody. If you live in the state of Virginia, or if you know people that live in Virginia, I need you to get on your horse and tell these people to register to vote if they are not already registered, and to either request a ballot for early voting or go on early vote. Why is this important in Virginia specifically? Because they have a right wing nut job as the governor, Glenn Youngkin. Did he used to run the Carlisle Group, or was he the HCIC up the Carlisle Group? The Carlisle Group is a nefarious corporation of I can only assume a very evil white men who are planning all kinds of variations of world domination. It's not some shit that you want your governor to be coming out of. But regardless, anyway, Glenn Youngkin is determined to restrict Virginia's abortion laws. I think I don't know what it is in Virginia right now because all these state laws are so patchwork and in disarray. I want to say Virginia's 15 weeks, but they may be longer than 15 weeks right now. But what is at stake this election cycle is all the seats in the General Assembly, right? And I think that it is in the Senate, the Virginia State Senate, where there's only a slight majority. And I can't remember who holds that majority at present. I can't remember if it's Democrats or Republicans, but regardless, with a Republican in the governor's mansion and Republicans controlling, let's say, one chamber of the Virginia legislature, it's important, the goddamn it, that fucking Democrats have to control the other one. Otherwise, abortion access and not only for people living in Virginia, but for those who have been traveling to Virginia from states that have more restrictive abortion laws. The abortion access is absolutely on the fucking ballot this fall, this November in Virginia. And if nobody's told you that, please let me be the one. But I'm certain I'm not the only or the first. But let me underscore the shit and reinforce it. So if you know folks in Virginia, or if you are in Virginia and you like, oh right, there's an election, right? No, you gotta go. You have to go and participate in that shit like immediately because the shit could get real for people seeking abortion services in the state of Virginia, or for those who live in the region, not for Maryland, of course, not for DC, of course, but the region, Virginia and South, North Carolina, Kentucky, fucking West Virginia, South Carolina, Tennessee. Jesus, I can only imagine the amount of folks from that region that have been traveling to places like Virginia to get the abortion to care. So it's important. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there just so I can pretend that I'm doing good in the world. Big up to Infinite Content. Thank you so much for your super chat there, Infinite. Infinite says, I like to make clear that I had nothing to do with the Great Crab Leg heist in Philly. Sir, I don't even know what the Great Crab Leg heist in Philly was. I don't know if I want to know about the Great Crab Leg Philly heist. But I believe your alibi there, Infinite, and we will take it. Thank you so much to let me for letting me know. Now I have to go investigate what the great crab leg heist was in Philly. What did it have anything to do with them kids smashing the shit out of everything in Center City and looting everything that they could? Does it have anything to do with that, Infinite? Mm. What's up to my niece Alicia? Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to the good mods. Big up to Courtney. I don't know if Court's in the building. Shout out to Latif in the building. Thank you so much, Latif, for all that you do and all the support that you bring to the platform and the channel. We appreciate you so much. So let me go on and get to this first story here, everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, blah, blah, blah. But I want us to get to an update about a story that I covered a couple of weeks ago from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm sure you guys remember two Black residents of Baton Rouge both filed civil rights lawsuits against the Baton Rouge police, alleging that they had been subjected to illegal searches, they had been subjected to strip searches, they had been subjected to forms of sexual harassment slash assault as a result of these searches, and that detainees, people who had been placed in the custody by Baton Rouge police, were not being taken to the police precinct. No, they were being taken to a warehouse that cops called the Brave Cave. Brave, BRAVE, an acronym for Baton Rouge Anti Violence Enforcement, a specialized quote anti crime unit within the Baton Rouge police that has come under increased scrutiny because of their conduct. And there's been a lot of developments that have come in the most recent fucking week and a half since I last talked about this story. Namely, that the anti crime suppression unit has been disbanded. They said, you niggas, what y'all thought this was? Training day? Some of y'all thought y'all was Denzel out here. No, 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 we cannot have that. Well, once it became public, that was. Until it was splashed across the national headlines, they was like, all right, y'all. Oh, y'all think it's training day? Okay, shh. Which one of y'all Denzel? we'll let y'all we'll let y'all come on true. But I want us to get this update. Hold on, let me pull up my source here, because like I said, there have been arrests, there have been there is now an FBI investigation that nobody asked for. that the FBI just said, we're going to step in here, and everybody was like, "Nigga, what y'all? What do y'all do? Anything? What does the FBI literally do? Anything? On occasion, they do, and I'll get to that in a moment. But it's usually nothing good. It's all usually very perfunctory, et cetera, et cetera. But here we go. Let me get to this. So there have been 4 Baton Rouge police officers that have now been arrested. Coincidentally, this doesn't have anything to do with the Brave Cave stuff, but the fact that the Brave Cave reporting helped to spur, and I suppose it shed some more sunlight on some of these other allegations of misconduct from the Baton Rouge police. It's amazing what some investigative journalism can do. Like, you could actually, I won't say make changes, but you could get some shit might happen, as in the case with these arrests. So let's get the update here from WBRZ, not only about the arrests, but the way in which the Baton Rouge police had been accused of harassing and assaulting people suspected of crimes. They have been accused of trying to delete body cam footage, hiding evidence, planting evidence, the huge, the huge for the cops, right? So anyway, let's get the update here from WBRZ.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. First tonight, the fallout continues from the latest investigation into Baton Rouge Police. 4 officers facing charges of corruption in connection to a beating and tasing incident 3 years ago. We were the first to tell you about the charges Thursday morning. Arrest documents obtained by the WBRZ investigative unit are painting a picture of an apparent cover-up by members of the Street Crimes Unit, including their leader at the time, Troy Lawrence Sr. The warrants show it was Officer Todd Thomas who punched a man several times while being processed. According to a BRPD officer who witnessed the incident, Thomas then accessed an app to view the footage. That's when, according to the warrant, Troy Lawrence Sr. looked at the video and told Thomas he had to get rid of it. All of this happened at BRPD's 1st District, and the investigation began only a month ago.
True reform requires a close look at our practices, our policies, as well as our culture. And it demands that we learn from our missteps and commit to transparency and embrace change. We must continue to build trust with the community we serve, and that means by actively engaging with our community, listening to your concerns, and making the necessary improvements.
To put it in terms that you can relate to, this is not a time for just an annual checkup. This is time for a full body MRI to diagnose and reveal any dysfunctions or wrongdoings. I owe that to the officers of the Baton Rouge Police Department, and I owe it to every citizen in Baton Rouge.
Now, the arrest adding a load of work for District Attorney Healer Moore. He says all of those past cases involving these officers will now need a complete review. News 2's Alexis Merity is joining us now. What's that process going to look like?
Sylvia, Moore says cases involving the officers will be handled like any other. Still, those files are piling up on his desk.
4 Baton Rouge officers charged with corruption.
I'm going to treat them just like we treat anyone else. And but it will cause a significant amount of work.
Now the district attorney's office is starting from square one.
Again, these are officers who work lots of hours in lots of cases. And they're the ones that we generally see that are involving guns and violent crime. And so, you know, that's what is concerning to me.
Reviewing the cases those officers initially investigated, that number totaling to nearly 1,000 cases.
I'm really not sure how we're going to handle the capacity of it, because we're pretty overloaded as it is as we speak.
To handle the workload, Moore says it's likely the office will bring in extra help. That could include counsel that isn't as familiar with the officers.
And these officers were very active officers that handled a lot of cases involving a lot of people that have some substantial records.
Now it's a matter of picking up the pieces and getting started.
So right now what the plan is to find out what the whole universe is of cases that could potentially be impacted.
They'll determine what role the officers played in that particular case and whether it's still provable without them. Even still, Moore insists these officers won't be treated any different.
These officers are also presumed innocent, just like anyone else. You know, right now we have allegations, and does one person's right weigh more than others?
And Moore says it's unlikely he will choose to recuse himself from these cases. He is urging the public, though, to send tips. He says the office will look at any complaint that they provide.
Alexis, thank you. A class action lawsuit was filed against the Baton Rouge Police Department today, alleging officers habitually strip search people without justification. The suit claims numerous police were stripped down, people were stripped down in an effort to humiliate, denigrate, and intimidate them. This as multiple people came forward saying they were unlawfully strip searched in a makeshift interrogation site that officers called the Brave Cave. A separate lawsuit exposed the warehouse used by the now dissolved Street Crimes Unit. Now, you can find all of our recent stories on Baton Rouge Police on our website at WBRZ.com. It includes the investigative unit report, statements from officials, and much more.
You know, I commend this local news outlet and some of the other local news TV stations, I haven't read too much in terms of print reporting out of Baton Rouge, but I can appreciate the local news actually understanding the importance of a police corruption story, pattern of practice, of misconduct, of abuse of the public from the Baton Rouge police, and taking it seriously. Like, make it lead fucking news because it's important. Okay, it's not something that, oh, the police need the media's help in making sure they present a good image to the public. Nope. If the police want to do that, then they need to be better actors when they're out here in the community, right? There is no piece of media, print, digital, television, broadcast, radio, no media outlet should ever be trying to operate as public relations or run cover up for the fucking cops. It's not your job as a broadcaster, as journalists, as people who are trusted with microphones and cameras and to tell the news and whatever trusted blah 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 brands of media outlets in the community. No, your job is to tell stories prurient prurient. Maybe I'm fucking up the word. Damn, I sound like ear doctor. Prurient to the public interest, and this is actually top of that. And I wanted to have a couple comments about some things that were brought up in the package. First of all, the police chief of Baton Rouge. We're going to hear from him in a second because he went off on the Baton Rouge City Council in recent days. But for him to talk about, a culture of reform, just let it all serve as friendly reminders that when we see these black faces in these political misleadership classes, as chief of police, as mayors, as city council members, as governors, right? In a variety of different roles, you will find these black faces there to do the white master's bidding, basically. Just keep in mind, like that. Though these are not symbols of progress. It is not progressive that Baton Rouge has a police chief that is overseeing a force full of corrupt cops, probably like white police chiefs before him, right? Like that's not progress. For who was that? Baton Rouge's mayor or the city manager, whoever that woman was, talking about, it's time for a full MRI on the Baton Rouge. I owe that to the Baton Rouge police. No, bitch, you owe it to the fucking public, okay? You don't owe it to the police. You don't owe the police shit. It is the public that are the victims of the police. It is the public that is on the receiving end of this maltreatment and potentially dubious and false charges. Getting back to the second part of that package there, you guys, these 4 cops by themselves, and these not even the Brave Cave cops. These is different cops within the Baton Rouge Police Department. The fact that these 4 police officers themselves are connected to 1,000 active cases moving its way through the criminal justice system there in Baton Rouge should be terrifying. And for that district attorney to say with a straight face, on one hand, oh, all these people that, these cops had dealings with, these cases that we now have to go through, these people have lengthy records for, dangerous things. And then on the other hand, say, well, all these cops are presumed innocent. What about the 1,000 cases and the people connected therein too? Are they not presumed innocent? If anything, their presumption of innocence should be higher because they were felled or stopped or harassed or charged by these corrupt cops. That would lead me to think that all the people who are having their cases reviewed because of, some sort of connection to these documented corrupt police officers, that to me increases those people's preponderance of innocence. I think that they are likely more innocent than the goddamn corrupt cops that are facing charges now. So miss me with that shit. But it's just amazing, how all of the tentacles get intertwined with one another, right? You have these corrupt police that are a part of an inherently corrupt system. They corruptly do their job. They ensnare people within the system, right? And then the cycle keeps perpetuating itself. So when the cops themselves, in my opinion, are largely creating criminals, like and not to say that, everybody's not out here doing the right thing, But the police seem to have an uncanny ability to somehow compound, quote, wrong activities that folks are out here doing. For example, one of the people that are doing the class action lawsuit against the Baton Rouge police was this woman we spoke about when I covered this story a couple of weeks ago, a 47-year-old grandmother who was legally transporting her prescriptions, her legal valid prescriptions. And they tried to criminalize her possession of her legal prescription drugs. Like, make that make sense. I don't quite understand it. But here's another aspect that I found a little interesting is that the Baton Rouge chief of police, who finds himself in the hot seat, who is overseeing this force full of corrupt cops, made an appearance at the Baton Rouge City Council meeting. And I just have an excerpt here. I think this is from actually the same station, WBRZ. But this man got loud, which was fine with me. I didn't care if he got loud. I didn't care that he put bass in his voice. I didn't care that he called out city council people specifically. But what I found a little comical are his repeated references to the racist treatment that he feels as though he and members of his family have received as part of some sort of intimidation pertaining to, I guess, the job that he's doing as chief of police there in Baton Rouge. And it's like, sir, you oversee a racist police department. Even if most of the cops there are black themselves, you're black, the deputy police chief, your deputy is black. That don't mean that y'all not racist. That don't mean that y'all are not racially profiling residents of this city, of your community, simply because they are black and they look a certain way. You are overseeing a system, or you are participating in a system, you're participating in an institution of policing, that whereas you as a black cop, you are going to treat black residents with the same disdain, vitriol, and violence that a white cop would in your position. So miss me with your allegations and pearl clutching of racism, sir. I don't want to hear it. I don't even give a shit. If the white folks is talking to you bad, they should be talking to you bad. And the black folks too. So anyway, WBRZ, this is just a small excerpt from when the police chief of Baton Rouge decided to get loud with some of them city council members there in Baton Rouge. Let's take a listen.
Mo.
Yes, sir. I want this matter resolved, and I want the place shut down, and I want everything. I know it's been shut down. I want it gone. And I want all of this resolved. But we can't accept the fact of where everything, the buck starts and stops.
So let's talk bucks. I've been quiet for I haven't been here 7 years. I'm sorry, Mayor President, but I'm going to speak my heart on this one. Because let's talk about processes. Let me count. This is important. 14 police officers were terminated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 resigned under investigation. And then there's appeals. And you know what you do? You strip my funding. Are you going to pay the attorney all the money that I already owe them for the bad cops that the Civil Service Board, where we're going to be here tomorrow, and none of y'all going to be here. And y'all sitting here trying to deal off these people's emotions, and some of y'all the problem. Jen Rocker, you sit there, defund the police department's budget from a legal standpoint, and then come here because I don't have legal representation and I got to play lawyer to fight these bad actors. Let's talk facts. Let's talk facts. And then what you do, then you go and you appoint people to the Civil Service Board that have direct ties to the union. There are 5 people on the Civil Service Board. What's wrong with good law-abiding citizens? You putting people on the Civil Service Board with direct ties to the union and wonder why they reverse the decisions that I make. I've been quiet, but I'm not going to be quiet no more. Where were you when they called my kids gangbangers? Where were you? You know about the pictures when they called my black boys gangbangers, and I prayed for them. When the former chiefs of police sit down and share pictures of me and my girlfriend, and I prayed for them. Where were you, Mocha? When they went to Texas, to the camp, and called me a nigger because I was trying to bring reform in this police department. Where were you then, speaking up for them? Don't sit here and play like you don't know about this group of body that's trying to force the mayor to sit there and fire me for lies and say I only discipline white folks, which is a lie. Don't pretend like you don't know that. Don't pretend like you don't know that. Talk about my little black kids, and I prayed for y'all. I prayed for them.
Why? Imagine. See, this is the goofiness of the respectability black politic that I cannot subscribe to. And then this nigga gonna rage himself into a fucking stroke at 52 because he's upset that the system is systeming. Sir, why in the hell would you ever pray for anybody that would say anything negative about your children? Your children. See, that's that fake Christianity, try to keep you submissive and praying for your master. And, we just got to pray for the master. One day, master will not be mastering us so much if we just keep praying for master. You don't pray for fucking master. You run up in master's house and you burn his shit the fuck down. And this man think that he going to make some change from the inside. Like he is raging against the machine as if this is not an institution. Like, sir, you knew exactly what time it was. And all of his calls for reform have obviously fallen flat. The Baton Rouge Police Department was equipped with body cam, right? And you heard the allegation there in the first package, where the cops was telling each other, "Hey, you got to delete that body cam footage, man. That shit looks bad." Okay, so that's one reform down in flames. Body cams don't do anything to keep police accountable. Oh, some would argue, well, these cops are under arrest now is because of the body cam. Well, it's 3 years after the fact, and God knows how much fuckery they were allowed to impart on the streets of Baton Rouge in the 3 years since. Like, who knows what the fuck they've been doing? This is just one incident, right? But for this cop, this police chief here, to be so upset that the civil service board, the oversight board, has no teeth. We've talked about this on this program, guys. That y'all boy, Killer Mike, even suggested that, we got to get the police oversight board back like it was under Kasim Reed. Motherfucker, these shits don't work, man. A lot of these civilian oversight boards have no formal authority. They don't have any power. They can make recommendations. They can't hire or fire, and they cannot discipline. I would imagine that the Baton Rouge, even though I don't know it for a fact, because all these, America is such a disaster. Everything is different from state to state. So I don't know how the fuck it works down in Baton Rouge, but I can tell you it doesn't work other places. It doesn't work pretty much everywhere. So why would how this man is describing it? Oh, if you didn't have all these police, people loyal to the police union appointed to the civil service board, and it would work better. No, no, it wouldn't, because it still would be toothless and it still wouldn't have any real meaningful powers to do anything. So let's try that again. I just, in some ways, I love to see the respectable black goofy people. I love to see them short circuit in this way, because you held yourself up as a patsy, as a stooge, like you were going to be a useful idiot for the empire, for the system. And you deluded yourself into thinking that, oh, well, if I try to change it from the inside, it'll change. No, baby, you get changed. The system don't change. You get changed. You either comply or you get drove the fuck crazy. as this man is clearly getting drove the fuck crazy, having to play Captain Save-A-Ho on a corrupt system. And you heard him run down the numbers. Well, first of all, he said that he has been in this position, I think he said nearly 7 years, and having to deal with, over 20 some officers under some sort of form of investigation, or some have resigned or been fired. What kind of department did you inherit? What kind of culture are you implementing there in Baton Rouge? If the Brave Cave shit if this the incident of corruption and cover up connected to the recent arrest of these 4 officers beating people in custody and then trying to cover it up, that was all under your watch, chief. Maybe you should get fired. Maybe it's time for you to go. But it doesn't matter if he's go, because it's, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Like they're gonna hire some other smiling little, geez, I was about to call this man all kinds of Sambos, but I can't help it. They're gonna find them another smiling Sambo to come in there and talk about how much they care about the community and how important it is to see the public trust be restored between the police and the community. They're gonna come in there and give us all the same spiel, the same lines. And does the system change? No. Will a few cops potentially go down or get held to some tiny modicum of accountability? That's a maybe. It's not a guarantee. But you can be assured that just like Chicago police had their black site at Holman Square, Baton Rouge had the Brave Cave, and I can only imagine all the other black sites being operated by local police departments and jurisdictions across this country. I can only imagine the numbers in the thousands, right? Like these are not one-offs, these are not two-offs. This is part of a larger system of routinely denying people their constitutional rights, their freedoms against unreasonable search and seizure, their ability to request counsel, their ability to remain silent. Black people don't have these rights. Brown people don't have these rights. Indigenous people don't have these rights. And honestly, through the occasional, it doesn't happen enough. Maybe occasional is being a little harsh, but it's so important that media outlets that have the resources, that have reporters and researchers and producers on salary, they have to take these stories about police corruption seriously, because it is important. It is so critical to public knowledge. Because if the local media, local print, local TV media, whatever, local, independent media outlets, if they simply tell the truth about how the police are operating in their communities, that the truth, I can't even call it propaganda because it's the truth. The truth is going to bring far more people on to our side, either to the defund and reappropriate police funds or outright abolish police. More people are going to be brought to our side as they are made aware of how routinely and regular the fucked up conduct is of police every single day. And most media outlets, most mainstream media, commercial media outlets don't want to do that because they understand that they will be reporting on police corruption stories every day. It would be an everyday thing. And at the end of the day, these people still want access. They still want the police chief to sit down with them and talk to them about what are y'all going to do about the spike in crime? What are we going like they still want that access to the mayor. They still want that access to these people in positions of power, right? See, me, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I've interviewed enough people out here. I understand that access isn't everything. To be honest, the ability to be able to read the situation and call it what it is, to me, is far more valuable than access to any perceived powerful person that I might want to have as part of my people who I've interviewed on my resume. I don't give a fuck about that. I would rather be able to sit here and tell y'all the truth and tell y'all what's really going on than to be like, oh well, I don't want to say too much because then on this person will never give me an interview. I don't give a shit about any of that. About any of that. To be able to not only to speak truth to power, but to repeatedly show and demonstrate the ways in which policing as an institution and the ways that politicians and the Black misleadership class prop up this institution as the solution to crime problems, to poverty problems, to people who are experiencing mental health crisis. Like, the police are not the solution to any of this. And the sooner and the broader that we are able to disseminate these messages and have them permeate truly the minds of our folks, so that when Uncle Uncle Cleo is out there, wilding out because he's having a mental health crisis, I hope to God that someone will maybe hear me in the back of their head and not call the police. You know what I'm saying? Or no. He's having a mental health crisis. Don't call the police. Why? Why? He's wilding out. Somebody need to get him. Yeah, but the police are going to come here and make it worse. They're going to make it worse. So let's not call the police. We got to figure something else out. Figure something else out. But 911 is not the fucking answer. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. But I think, you guys, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Like, I think that our messages, even on a platform as small as mine, I think our messages related, cops ain't shit et al., right? And the related, the subsequent threads of beats here on the Burn It Down with Kim Brown platform. I'm telling y'all, I think that I think the shit is getting through, man. Because these cops is out here looking bad. Not to say that they was ever looking good, but the media is out here with a renewed interest in making them look bad in some places, in some instances, yes. And the cops are having difficult times recruiting. Can't seem to get nobody to be police. Isn't that funny how that works? Anyway, let me take a break. I have to burp. Excuse me. Drank a kombucha beforehand. You guys, anyway, I don't promote brands, but I do like to drink kombucha. I'm not going to tell y'all what brand of kombucha because they don't run me a check. But if you are an alcohol drinker, beer drinker, can I recommend you drinking kombucha? There's some wonderful flavors of kombucha out there that will replace the beer, and it will clear up your urine. Your urine will be sparkling, clear with no bubbles, because I know some of y'all beer drinkers, y'all go to pee and it looked like somebody done poured a Sprite into the goddamn toilet because there's so much bubbles. Okay? Your pee is not supposed to be bubbly. If nobody have told you this, let me tell you, your pee is not supposed to be bubbly. Your pee is supposed to be flat. So I know y'all didn't ask for any of this tonight, but I'm telling y'all, if you got bubbly pee, you got to do something about that. It's too much yeast in your system. You got to tone that down. But the kombucha will help out with that. And stop drinking them goddamn sodas. Do I need to tell y'all this? Do y'all know this? Y'all should know this at y'all big age. I'm just assuming y'all's is big age like me. But I don't know. Schultz, are y'all big age? Jasmine, y'all big age. Yipper. Vesper. Is Vesper in here? Or did I mistake Vesper for Yipper? Either way, get off that goddamn alcohol, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. If you are a millennial or a Gen Zer and you want to keep, I guess, looking youthful, get off the goddamn alcohol. That alcohol is aging you. It's aging you from the inside, and it will show up on the outside. I'm telling you, I know a lot of talented middle-aged drunks, and they resemble talented middle-aged drunks. Okay, so whatever that is, Charlie, tell them to get off that alcohol. That alcohol bad for you, especially if you still drinking that hard liquor. You still drinking that brown and white, and you big age like me, or even if you little age, again, you don't want to be a skilled drunk. You don't want to be like, oh, I know how to hold my liquor. No, actually, you don't want to learn how to hold your liquor, because them liquor niggas be looking like niggas that know how to hold their liquor. You understand what I'm saying? And this is not just, I ain't trying to shame nobody. But anyway, if you want to keep looking funky fresh dress, stop drinking. Please and thank you. Pick up some kombucha and some water. There we go. Do me a favor, everybody. Go ahead and like the video. Click subscribe. Thank you so much for supporting us here on the Burn It Down with Kim Brown platform. You can send us some material support. BIDWKB, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Patreon.com/BIDWKB. We appreciate all the support, everybody. Free support is welcome as well. Okay, we love y'all. The purses. And this story is an update. And content warning. Well, everyone survived, so I can tell you that much. But this is another police brutality story that I brought y'all here maybe a week or two ago. And there has been an update already. in this case out of Ellesmere, Delaware. You guys remember the story of the Delaware teens playing a game of ding dong ditch, running up to a home's front door, ringing the doorbell, and running away. Ha 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 ha. 14 to 15-year-olds think that shit's hilarious, right? And it's a harmless, if not, annoying prank that the kids in America do. I don't know. Do people, I would imagine maybe children do this all over the world, but maybe they're going to stop doing this all over the world once they understand the level of ass whippings that a punk ass Delaware state trooper is willing to lay down on a pair of minors for doing something that is not even illegal. It's not even a crime. So charges have been brought against the Delaware state trooper who has been suspended, I believe, without pay. And they're moving to fire him. Young guy, actually. We're going to hear his name in the package, but the Delaware state trooper in question is 29 years old. And now the parents of some of these teenagers, two of these teenagers, in fact, have now decided to file a civil lawsuit against the Delaware state troopers as an entity and as an organization. And I think they're suing this cop too individually. Like I said, he has been charged, facing a number of charges. And plot twist, I think one of the children involved is black. The other one, whose battered and bruised and bloody face pictures that we saw when the story first came out, was a white child by the name of Jaden. And that's what kind of made the story newsworthy to me. I said, oh, Jesus, look at the police out here beating white children like this. You know the black kids in Delaware don't stand a chance. If they out here beating the white children like this, my God, somebody go check on the black children that have had any contacts or engagements with the Delaware state troopers, because if they beating the white children like this, shit. And they beat this young man terribly. Like, my heart really broke for this kid. But anyway, we're going to pick up the story from News 10 Philadelphia, where the parents of these children announced their intentions to file a civil lawsuit behind the terrible assault and harm that their kids faced at the hands of this Delaware state trooper. Will, let's take a look at that.
So I just want him held accountable for his actions, and I won't ever see this happen to nobody else.
This woman's son was dragged out of his house by law enforcement who mistakenly thought her son was involved in the August front door kick on Trooper Dempsey Walters' house. Trooper Walters now charged with multiple felonies for calling other law enforcement agencies back in August to go after the kids he believed were involved, and for assaulting both he and the boy who actually did kick his door. A prank.
I'm sorry, I know what I did.
Prosecutors say when troopers found 15-year-old Jaden, they forcefully put him on the ground, and then when Walters arrived, they say it's on camera when he dropped a knee into his back and then later turned off his body camera and punched Jaden in the face while he was sitting handcuffed in a police cruiser. The camera actually did, though, record the punch that broke his orbital bone and gave Jaden a concussion.
Jaden just went back to school last week, but he is still recovering from headaches, so he's in and out of the nurse's office daily.
Trooper Walters is a 29-year-old member of the state police and is now suspended without pay and is set to be fired. The leaders of the state police say they knew right away to send the video to the Attorney General's office, but lawyers for the family still want to know how a prank led to such a massive police response from multiple agencies. Why a response with officers in tactical gear? Why a state police helicopter? Why such violence? How did no other trooper or officer step in and question why they were all taking it this far? The family's lawyers don't believe there is this type of response if it wasn't a prank on a law enforcement officer's home. They also say Jaden didn't even know it was a trooper's house, and they say they believe the boys were held far too long without medical attention and without being charged because law enforcement officers needed time to hash out what was happening.
And they kept them there for a half an hour while they attempted, we believe, to get their story straight. That is just law enforcement sponsored torture.
Please tell me what I did.
In Wilmington, Tim Furlong, NBC 10 News.
Shit. I have some more details here that package didn't necessarily include. So the black child in question, you saw the black parents there at the press conference. State Trooper Dempsey ran into these people's house, the black child's house, and and pulled him out of his house at gunpoint. They dragged him out of the house at gunpoint, throwing him onto the ground where he sustained some injuries. Mind you, this 17-year-old black child, not only was he not there when the other boys was playing ding dong ditch, he didn't have shit to do with shit. He didn't have anything to do with anything. That, I believe, was the black child you hear on the camera footage. I don't know if it was body cam or inside the police cruiser cam, but he's crying. He said, can you please tell me what I did? Can you imagine the terror that child and his family must have been experiencing when these fucking white cops, maybe all of them wasn't white, but the main one was white. You gonna come in my house illegally, drag my teenage child out by gunpoint, and then be physically rough with him, assault him? And that's what they did to the black kid. My God, they gave poor Jaden. They done mixed up the treatments. They meant to treat the black teenager like they treated young white Jaden. They beat the shit out of Jaden, you guys. You heard Jaden's relatives there say that Jaden has just returned to school. This incident happened several weeks ago. Jaden had extensive surgery. In fact, I saw a different interview from his attorney that indicated to repair his broken orbital bone, his eye socket bone. Jaden had plates, he had screws put in. We're talking about a 15-year-old. These are injuries that he is going to have to live with for the rest of his life. And still dealing with the after effects of a concussion. And God knows what other injuries. You heard the report say that the trooper dropped his knee right into Jaden's back, and you heard him screaming. That was one of the main reasons I wanted to update this story. I mean, obviously, they seem to be serious about this in Delaware. Like, they seem to be taking this particular incident very seriously, and I'm appreciative of the questions asked by the reporter there. I guess who was perhaps echoing some of the questions asked by the representation of these families at the press conference. Why did you need a helicopter response for a kid playing ding dong ditch? Why did officers show up from multiple jurisdictions, some showing up in tactical gear, for some kids who rang the fucking doorbell and ran away? Why was the canines out there? Why? Why did y'all do all this for this? And the very simple, short reason and answers are that the police, number one, have too much fucking time on their hands. Ain't no actual crime out here. As much as we get these sensationalistic media reports about how extensive crime is, how the crime. Couldn't have been too much crime going on in Delaware that night if they had all these police officers ready and able to respond to a kid ringing a doorbell and running away. It must not have been that much fucking crime. And the other answer and reasons why the police would have such a massive response to this is because they can. Because they have the funding, they have the resources, they have the overtime, they have the ability. Again, like, did I say they have the time? Yes, they have the time because it's not much actual crime. I mean, I know the propaganda sensationalistic shit to say the crime is off the hook, but again, not that night in Delaware. And obviously, the police have all the resources to activate them against any member of the public that they so choose, even if it's a 15-year-old committing no actual crime, breaking no law, simply doing something perceived to be an annoyance or a nuisance. The full weight of the state can be activated against any of us, right? And that continues to be what scares me most about police and about the criminal injustice system altogether. Because once they decide to collude and in some instances outright conspire against you, what are you going to do against the weight of the state? Jaden, to his credit, Jaden must have some other privileges going on besides his whiteness and his maleness. You know what I'm saying? I don't know from what social class this young man comes from, but I doubt I don't know that if Jalen was a resident of the trailer park that all this attention would be paid to young Jaden. Did I call him Jalen or Jaden? It's the same thing. Jaden, right? So Jaden must have multiple things going for him besides just being white and male, would be my guess. But the other news coming out today, which kind of reminds me, just should be a reminder for all of us that, again, once the state decides to wield its power against you, I don't know what you can do about it. The news coming out of Atlanta, and I don't have any visuals here, Will, but because honestly, I wasn't going to talk about this today, because when I saw the shit, I had to put my phone down and go lay down for a few minutes, because it is hard for me to process um some of these hits, some of these L's coming for people on our side, especially in the fight against Cop City in Atlanta. I think it was, who was it, y'all? It was revealed today that no charges are going to be filed against the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's officers who shot Manuel Tortuguita Tehran dozens of times while he was sitting cross-legged in his tent with his hands up while defending the Atlanta forest. This happened back in January when Tortuguita was assassinated. I'm not clear on how many times Tortuguita was shot, but I believe he had 57 gunshot wounds, which include both entrance and exit wounds. So I am personally not clear on how many times Tortuguita was shot, but I know that he had 57 gunshot wounds. Okay. Tortuguita was not armed. Tortuguita was not resisting. Tortuguita was there to defend the forest from this Cop City project. And he was assassinated by the state with body cams on, by the way, but the body cams that the GBI still refuses to release, and are using an excuse of not releasing Tortuguita's assassination body cam footage as the reason that they're not releasing the body cam footage from the Atlanta police officer who tased Deacon Johnny Holloman to death, right? Like, you can't ask me why I want America to fail, because America wants us to fail. America wants to kill us, and sometimes they'll do it en masse. Sometimes they'll let people die, like by not fixing the water in Jackson, Mississippi, or not fixing the water in Flint, or, through a variety of ways. Or sometimes the state is just content to pick us off one by one. So are examples of death, of either martyrdom or people being assassinated, or however you choose to categorize it. Let these be examples to the others. Everything that's surrounding Cop City right now terrifies me, y'all. It terrifies me. I mean, I was going to say leading with Tortuguita's assassination, but that's not true. Like, the Tortuguita's assassination is horrifying. But that wasn't the first thing that scared me about Cop City. It's just the flagrant way in which white corporate money and the white corporate power structure will allow these black-faced fucking Sambos, under the guise of leading us, the darkies, right? Under the guise of being the leaders of the black community, they will usher in all of this militaristic police shit to be deployed on us and against us. And there's nothing you can do about it. Like, the levels of resistance that's happening right now in Atlanta, were this a different time, that would probably be enough to stop it. But here we are in 2023. And our comrades have fully utilized the democratic system to the hilt. And yet this project proceeds onward. And yet these cops are allowed to murder those who are opposed to this politically, those who are opposed to this project based on political and human rights grounds, police are allowed to murder them and nothing will happen to them. There's no transparency, there's no accountability, none of it. And not to say that there ever was, but at least the pretend of us being in times that are accountable now. I mean, we can't even pretend, and we can't allow them to pretend either. So anyway, let me take a break here real quick, y'all, before I get into my last thing. I'm sorry, like I didn't really want to talk about the lack of charges against Tortuguita's murderers today. I would imagine we're going to talk about this more on Black Power Media, probably on the Remix Morning Show next week. Oh, but you should follow the Atlanta Forest Defenders on social media. You need to follow the Atlanta Community Press Collective on social media. You need to follow the Atlanta Solidarity Fund. And of course, you need to follow Community Movement Builders. You need to follow the FTP movement. Like, follow all of our folks out of ATO, because, you know, we're very privileged to be in proximity and in community with people that are fighting specifically against this project. Because like I've told you guys in the past, like I feel as though this fight is going to be one that is going to be a pivotal one. Once we look back in history, I feel as though the fight, if we can stop one of these cop cities, we can probably stop more of them, right? But I feel as though this one in Atlanta, that this one is very heavy. Would you agree, Noli D? It feels very heavy. What's up, John Kemper? Thank you guys for coming through. Did I already shout you out, Schultz? Who else did I see? Oh, Dee Dee's in here. Hey, Northern Witch. Yo. Y'all go ahead and hit the like, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe. No, I saw that shit. I had to put my phone down. I said, nope. I said, nope. This should be my lead story tonight. I can't. Nope. I can't even deal with it. Yeah, my ability to tolerate the bullshit in the news, it gets smaller and smaller with every passing day. I just be like, nope. But this story, I could not say nope to, because you guys know I'm a dog person. Shout out to the dog people. And that's no diss to non-dog people. I'm very much a dog person. I love dogs. I've always loved dogs. There's a picture of me as a kid, as a toddler, sitting next to our dog, our German Shepherd, Zorro. Zorro was pretty big in this picture. Maybe I should find it. Fuck it, whatever. It's too late. But anyway, so if you've known me, I've always had a dog. I've grown up with dogs. I have a dog now who we're getting ready for her quinceañera next month. And I love dogs, okay? So when I'm hearing about dogs behaving badly, I am quick to look at the dog owners. And I'm sure you guys have heard the story already. It's been in the news all week. Perhaps it's a distraction story. Even if it is a distraction story, let me be distracted, because it tells me a shit ton about this piece of shit motherfucker that I already knew was a piece of shit. And the fact that he can't keep his dog in check tells me he's dead. Just validates that I thought he was a fucking piece of shit. I'm talking about none other than y'all boy, President Joe Biden. And fuck it, let me throw First Lady Jill Biden in there too, because that's her dog too. Now, the Bidens already had to get rid of a dog, a German Shepherd by the name of Major. Why did they have to get rid of Major? Major kept biting people around the White House. More specifically, I believe Major kept biting the police around the White House, right? And I said, oh, Major is a good boy. I said, Major's a good boy. You keep biting them piggies, Major. And they said, no, Major got to go. So they got another dog. They got a dog named Commander. Now, Commander has come to the White House specifically to fuck shit up, okay? Commander is only 2 years old, and yet since October of last year, run it, Commander has bit like 10, 11 people. Hold on. Dude y'all know how fucking wild your dog has to be that your dog has bitten more than one person? If your dog gets the ability to bite double digits worth of people, there is absolutely something the matter. And there's definitely something the matter within the jurisdiction in which you reside if local officials are aware that you obviously have a dangerous dog and you have been allowed to keep said dog. I want us to go to this package. Who the fuck is this package from? This is Good Morning America from 2 months ago. 2 months ago. So the recent news surrounding Commander hadn't even bit his 11th person yet. And they did the story about Commander biting 10 fucking people. I'm sorry. I keep saying he bit people. He didn't bite people. He bit the Secret Service. And we know police are not people. Okay. So I'm sorry to actual people. He was biting pigs. So we can't get mad at Commander. Hold on. But let me not get too ahead of myself. Y'all, just crack the fuck up while listening to this package from Good Morning America 2 months ago. Let's take a look.
And now to the White House, and new reports that President Biden's dog Commander has bitten multiple Secret Service agents. Rachel Scott is back from the White House with those details. Good morning again, Rachel.
Hey, Lindsay, good morning to you. Look, the White House is still figuring out how exactly to deal with this one. The president's family dog, Commander, has bitten or attacked Secret Service agents at least 10 times over a span of 4 months. One of those incidents ended with one of those officers having to go to the hospital. This is all according to newly obtained emails by a conservative activist group that have been verified by ABC News. In one of those emails back in October, the Secret Service warned that the German Shepherd was exhibiting extremely aggressive behavior, even charging at a Secret Service officer, saying that the First Lady could not regain control of the dog. The Secret Service, of course, is not in charge of caring for family pets, but they do come across them while protecting the first family. The White House sort of brushing this all off, saying that the White House is a stressful and unique environment for family pets. But if all of this sounds familiar, it is because it is. You may remember the first family's other German Shepherd, Major, also had a history of biting people. Major Biden was eventually sent to go live with family friends. It's unclear at this point if Commander also faces a similar fate, but at the very least, the White House says Commander will definitely be getting a lot more training, guys.
Okay, so that was 2 months ago. And has Commander received any additional training? The answer clearly is no, because this week at the White House, it was reported that Commander has bit his 11th person. His 11th person. I'm sorry, I keep calling them persons. I'm sorry. He bit his 11th pig. He bit another Secret Service officer. And Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, was asked about this week. She didn't have good answers. She did not. She did not have good answers. But let us take a look at that clip if we could, please.
There are some new pictures of Commander Biden biting a staffer again. How many times has that dog bitten the Bidens?
I would refer you to the Secret Service and also the First Lady's office.
Okay. It's the 12th known incident of this dog biting a White House staffer. A lot of times when that happens, there's a lawsuit. Isn't the president worried about getting sued?
I would refer you to the Secret Service or the First Lady's office.
My last one.
Yeah, okay, so my bad. 12. Let's just make it a nice even dozen there of folks that Commander Biden has bitten. And, much like his human brother, Hunter Biden, Commander Biden is not going to really face no actual consequences behind his thuggish behavior. You know what I'm saying? We all know Hunter Biden got some sweetheart deal or whatever. I don't even give a fuck what Hunter Biden did. I was talking with one of my buddies about this, and my friend was like, Hunter Biden was a whole cokehead out here. Of course he carried a pistol. Like, let's not be ridiculous. Hunter Biden out here buying cocaine. Why wouldn't he be carrying pistols? Let's stop being silly. So anyway, so as a dog person, I hear these stories. And my ears perk up because it tells me a couple things, both about the dog and the owner. Now, I think I have shared this with you guys on different occasions, but certain people out there in the world who shall remain nameless, maybe their names are Bagheera Brown. Bagheera has been thugging it for 15 whole years out here. Thugging it, okay? I can easily recall at least 10 to a dozen dog fights that Bagheera has been in. I have said that if Bagheera were a person, she would be in jail. She would be in jail because she has roughed it off. She has brought the motherfucking ruckus. Whatever rap song analogy you want to bring, Bagheera has brought that shit to a number of dogs across the DMV. And I mean that. DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Bagheera has been out here thugging it strong. But what has worked to Bagheera's advantage is that Bagheera's never been a person. Okay. She might have been one person once at the dog park, but this was because she was already engaged in a dog fight. And somebody else at the dog park decided that they want to stick their hands down in between the dogs, snarling and biting and shit for reasons I don't understand. Okay, I'm like, shit, look, them dogs, Bagheera. I'm not reaching in there to break up no goddamn dog fight, especially with no pit bull. So anyway, she bit that person, but she didn't bite the person because she was like, fuck you person. She bit the person because he stuck their hand down in the middle of a goddamn dog fight. So that was that person's fault. I didn't even fault Bagheera for that because she wasn't trying to bite the person. So that has worked to Bagheera's advantage. But here's the thing. There are very strict dog and owner liability laws in the DC, Maryland area. I'm very familiar with them. Okay. If your dog, and this may vary slightly in DC, but in Maryland, like if your dog bites a person, like your dog has to be quarantined. Like your dog can't engage with the public meaningfully for a duration of time, until it's determined a number of things about the dog's behavior, vaccination status, all the minor things is the vaccine status. The major thing is how does the dog behave? Is the dog okay to be walking in public, to engage with other dogs or children or whatever? But there is no dog that has an owner that the dog has been allowed to bite 12 fucking people and you still get to keep your dog. Usually after that second bite, or definitely that third, and we're talking about biting people here, right? If your dog has shown a propensity to continuously bite people and biting different people, they take your dog. Like, you don't get to keep your dog. They will come take your dog and they will put your dog down because your dog is clearly dangerous. And I have to say, if a dog has bitten 12 people, I would also assume the dog is dangerous. Now, the excuse given by the White House about the White House campus being a stressful place, and okay, but maybe this German Shepherd or these German Shepherds are not the breed for you. And the Bidens are teaching America several very valuable lessons. First of all, the elites are subject to different rules, regulations, and punishments, and so are their animals. Okay. Just like Hunter Biden has likely gotten some special treatment, Commander Biden and Major Biden have also gotten some special treatment despite their criminal behavior, right? Yes, your dogs can be criminals. Commander and Major are absolutely criminals. They're straight up menaces out here. But the other lesson that the Bidens are teaching America, or anyone that's paying attention, is you have to be very mindful of a dog's breed and a dog's temperament when you are bringing a dog into your home or to anywhere with you. Okay? All dog breeds are not for all people. German Shepherds can be high energy. They are very protective, and they require a lot of discipline, because a lot of these guard dog breeds and some of these bully dog breeds, these dogs are smart animals. They are strong-willed, and if they are not trained and disciplined, and I don't mean beat the dog, absolutely not. Don't ever beat your dog unless you want your dog to bite you. That's a surefire way to get bit by your own damn dog, is to beat your dog. But anyway, if you don't deal with these dogs, though, with a firm hand. You have to show them who's boss. You have to show them who's in charge. You can do that without beating the dog, by the way. These dogs can get in trouble in a variety of ways. That can range from tearing up your house to being a menace out here in the world, like Commander and Major Biden are. And it reflects that Joe Biden probably is as good as a pet parent as he was an actual parent, which may not be so great. Hunter Biden, very much like Commander and Major, grew up in a lovely home, right? Lovely upper crust part of the world, yet with probably very little to any supervision, and was allowed to be out here behaving in any way that they saw fit. So Commander and Major are very much like their brother Hunter, in which they had little discipline, little supervision. And if they got in trouble, well, they just got sent away. They didn't get no real trouble. They didn't have to go to doggy jail. They didn't have to be quarantined for the amount of people that they bit. No, they just got sent away to go live in a nicer place than the fucking White House. But anybody that does, I'm sorry, like in the same way that I do judge parents by the way their children present in public, right? I judge pet parents the same way, especially dog people. Like if your dog is a bad dog, and yes, 12 people bitten might constitute a bad dog. But wait a minute. See, there goes my contradiction though. I can't call the dog a bad dog because he bit the fucking cops. So Commander was a good boy. Commander was a good boy. You know what? Never mind. Maybe Joe and Jill are doing a great job. Maybe, what if on the low they were training the dogs to fight the Secret Service? Brilliant. See, now I have to take back all the shit I was talking. So anyway, I was going to go in on the Bidens about, them letting their dogs bite 12 folks, but they let their dogs bite 12 Secret Service people. So that's the police. So maybe actually the Bidens are, in fact, not terrible pet parents as I had made I'm sorry, the Bidens. Let me extend my apologies to the Bidens, because maybe y'all are doing a great job. You're teaching your dogs to bite the shit out the cops, and the cops can't do anything about it. So maybe actually it's a job well done. See, that undertook my fucking commentary in 180-degree opposite direction than where I thought I was going. I thought I was going to bomb on the Bidens because they was terrible, letting their dogs bite folks, but they wasn't letting their dogs bite folks. They was letting their dogs bite the pigs, and the pigs are not folks. Like how I brought all that. Y'all like how I brought that all together. All right, I'm gone, y'all. That's my program. That's my little shizno. I appreciate all of y'all coming through and checking it out. Shout out to everybody out here in the joint. What's up, Latino Marine? Chichi Macha. Chote. Latif, you seen it. Listen. Hold on. Let me tell y'all something real quick. So I've told y'all the story, and I'm going to let y'all go. When Breezy was alive, my other pit bull who has passed away a couple of years ago, but when Breezy was alive and thugging out here, and the time the police came to my house, because if you haven't heard the story, I will tell it another time. I don't feel like getting into it, but long story short, the cops is in my front yard armed. Here come Breezy protecting her mama. She gets in between me and the police. And all of a sudden, it's 3 guns. It's all these fucking cops drew down on Breezy, drew down on my one on Breezy, right? Because Breezy growled and barked. Commander whole ass bit niggas' hands off. Ain't nobody point a gun at fucking Commander. Breezy came out barking and growling. Here come 3 fucking punk ass cops drawing down on my dog. Commander done bit 12 whole ass Secret Service officers. Ain't nobody even thought about. Ain't nobody even thought about pulling that thing out on Commander. Ain't that a bitch? See how the children of the elites get treated different? See why I don't like it here? Okay, I'm gone. Now I'm really gone. Okay, y'all. Thank you, John. Thank you, Latif. Peace to Holly. Who is that? Oh, and Valley Girls. Hey, Valley Girls. Thank you so much for coming through. Who else did I say? I said Schultze. I saw Shirley. Quaker. Hey, Quaker Anarchist. Thank you so much for all of your support. I don't know. Listen, wouldn't that be funny if Commander bit one of them Secret Service agents while the agent was trying to do something to intervene on behalf of, saving Joe Biden's life, and here come Commander biting the shit out the Secret Service officer who trying to take a bullet for Biden, and Commander yoke him down to the ground, and all of a sudden Biden get. Let me not say all this too loud for YouTube come and take my channel away. It's all speculation, YouTube. This is not, I'm not wishing this on nobody. I'm just speculating about the situation. But anyway, thank you, Northern Witch DD. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you, Yipper99. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, hey, Noli D, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like and the thumbs up on your way out the door. Sweary Ferry, thank you so much for all that you do. Hold on, Infinite. You did run me something else. Hold on. Thank you, Infinite, for your support. I still don't know nothing about the great crab leg heist. I saw that great Apple Store heist going down in Center City. I saw that great Apple Store heist going down in Center City. I said, yo, Philly. I love Philly. I said Philly. If you going Philly, nigga, Philly. If y'all go Philly, fucking Philly. I love it. Hold on, Infinite. I got you. Infinite said, I trust both Major and Commander, as do I. The only people they're biting is suspect service agents. Yes. Good boys. That is correct, Infinite. Yes, good boy, Major and Commander. Good boys. That's a good boy. You keep biting them piggies. That's a good boy. Okie dokie. Well, you guys, be sure to have a safe weekend. Not this Saturday. It's next Saturday is our Around the Fire Disability Support Chat for October. We do these every second Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Anna Hart, Mama Lorraine, and Learn Life Abby are amazing facilitators of these discussions. And thanks to anyone that's ever participated in the Around the Fire Disability Support Chat. We would love to see you back here next Saturday for that. Be looking anywhere. I just be posting it now because, anyway, it's fine. So thank you guys for everything. Again, material support is welcome at BIDWKB on Venmo, $BIDWKB on Cash App, patreon.com/BIDWKB, paypal.me/BIDWKB. On behalf of Will and Molly, thank you guys so much for all that you do and all your support. We'll see you back here on Tuesday for Burning Down with Kim Brown. Love you guys to pieces. Have a good one, y'all. See you later. Bye.